Hello everyone. I am here to discuss a topic that is very near and dear to my heart. And one of the things that I wanted to discuss on here is uh, what you heard or hear when you're in school. You hear or have heard, if you are already graduated, um, probably already said it yourself. I hate math. I will never use it again in my entire life. I hate algebra. I will never use it again in my entire life. A couple of schools of thought here. I'll hit them real quick. Number one, the Navy uh, teaches that mathematics is a great indicator of how successful you will be in your life. Engineers, mechanics, even doctors have to use mathematics all day long, every day. Not just part of the time, but all day long, every single day. The high-hitting moneymakers, lawyers use it. They don't perform the math themselves most of the time. They hire somebody else to do it. But they can afford to hire somebody else to do it. And you say, well, I don't need to hire somebody else to do it. But yet, trust me, here's the second school of thought. When you start getting up around retirement, you will start wondering, do I have enough money to retire on? And then you're going to be going and paying somebody to tell you if you've got enough money or not. Devin Carroll is a gentleman that I've been watching on YouTube a lot lately, and he's one of the best people I know. But I see some people asking basic questions, basic math questions. So with this, I'm going to teach you some basic stuff here. I mean, this is stuff that you don't even have to do it. You don't even really have to know the formula. You can look them up. You can Google it. But first thing that you need is a spreadsheet. All right, if you're going to do it the way that I'm teaching you. And once I start showing this to you, I think you're going to be like, ooh, ah, and you might want to bookmark this video so you can come back to it and look at it and copy some of my formula. My formula are not copyrighted. You are more than welcome to use it. You can modify it. If you find a better way of doing things, hey, hit me up. Let me know. I'm self-taught here. I learned my stuff through Google. How do you do Excel for this? Now, all right, I just said Excel. Microsoft and Microsoft's Office suite are the most prolific um, tools out there, but they're also perhaps some of the most expensive tools out there. You can get by with various different freeware, shareware stuff out there. I personally use OpenOffice. I know there's Libre and other things like that, but I'm using OpenOffice. So I come in here and I just type in OpenOffice CALC, and boom. I wait for this thing to open up, and I've got this on my cell phone too. I'm on my computer right now, but I also have it on my cell phone. Now, I prefer using my computer over my cell phone because there are certain things that I don't know how to do on my cell phone yet, like right click. And what is right click? Well, you've got two click buttons on your mouse. One on, well, some of them have three, but two primary ones, one on the right, one on the left. And it's the one that's on the right that will give you access to various things that you don't normally have access to. All right, so here we are at a basic spreadsheet. We got to organize our thoughts. What's the first thing that we want to know? We want to know, do I have enough money? But that's not really definitive. That is a very generic question, all right? So what we're going to start off with is, what is today's date? Or what date do you want to start this from? On this particular spreadsheet, I'm going to be doing a what if. What if I had been a smart person and pseudo-successful at the age of 18? I'm not 18 anymore. All right? I'm going to also put in my age, okay? And I am going to put in my balance. I'm going to put in deposits. I'm going to put in withdrawals. Okay. Whoa, wait a second. I learned how to spell here. First thing, I'm going to put in interest. I'm going to put in tax. So you have to pay taxes. Everybody has to pay taxes. Well, most everybody. I live in a tax-free zone, people. I get foreign earned income credit, so I don't pay taxes. Of course, I put up with substandard housing, substandard medical, substandard dental. My mouth's totally screwed up from letting these yahoos work on my dental. Okay, taxes, withdrawals. All right, let's just say that I had been, all right, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to define these criteria here. I'm going to say format this cell. I'm going to want it to be a date. And I always like to see the entire date. That way there's no guessing. The age is going to just be a number. Format it. It's going to be a number with 2 decimal places, not 10,000. If that was left at 0, that's infinite. It'll put in as many decimal places as it can figure. The balance, the deposits, the interest, the tax, the withdrawals will all be money. So we're going to go format cells, currency. I always use the red for negative. And notice I'm using US dollars and not some other value. That's because I'm an American and I get paid in, US dollars. All right, the age is obviously not going to be a big block. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the date here. I'm going to say, what if on January the 1st of 1982, 83, I'd been a very smart young man. Oh, also I'm going to left justify this block so that everything looks normal, all right? Otherwise, you'd come up with a jagged looking edge down here. And I'm going to say, how old was I on that day? So I'm going to say equals sum. That means I'm going to be doing an addition problem here. And the neat thing about this is you don't have to memorize this. You can come back to this video, copy that down, and then all you got to do is once you copy it one time, you can cut and paste it in any other spreadsheet that you want to use it in. So this is going to be very easy. So you always have to tell it what you're going to sum. So you're going to put that into parentheses. Okay, so you've got equals sum. And the first thing I'm going to do is take that date that's on the left there and block A2, not A1. I always put A1 because I forget about the header. And I'm going to subtract it from my birthday. So I'm going to make up a birthday here. I'm not going to make it February the 30th, although there was 3 occasions that I know of where February the 30th did actually exist on the Gregorian calendar. None of them in the United States. All right, so I'm going to be subtracting this from a date. Okay, the date that I'm going to be subtracting it from, we're just going to say 1958 02 29. Let's see if that's a valid date. I think that was a leap year. So that gives me the amount of days that I would be in age. So to break that down, I have to put in another thing here, and here I'm going to divide that value by 365.25. All right, and I'll show you why I do that. Oh, that cannot be right. Oh yeah, that can be right, because that was 1983. All right. All right, so why am I using 365.25? There are 365 days in a year for 3 years. 365, and then on the 4th year there are 366 days for a total of equals sum, and I'm just going to highlight all of these. I could add them in there one at a time, but that's 461 days, all right? 1,461 days. By the same token, well, if I did 365.25 and I copy that and paste it well, that's 1, 2, 3, and then I go equal sum, and I'm going to just highlight these again. You're going to see it's the same thing, 1461. So rather than having to know every date in between, I just do a quick thing, and this is a rough estimate. It's not exact, but it's very close. All right. So let's just say that, actually, let's make that 4 years prior. So let's make that 79. All right. Let's just say that a nice, let's make it a little bit younger. Let's make it 78. Let's just say that at 19 years old, I've been halfway smart and halfway proficient. And I started with a zero balance in life. But I made a $300 deposit into an account that was bearing an interest of let's say 3%. Back then I know that it was a lot higher, but I don't want to be doing a lot of changes here. So the way that you figure interest is you go equals sum, again, because you're doing a mathematical operation, and you're going to take that D2. Actually, you know what? I'm going to hold off on that. You don't earn any interest on it immediately. Granted, this is all estimates, and I could put it in there and just run with it, but I'm not. But you do pay taxes on it. So you've already paid taxes on this, so you're not, this is from your paycheck, and they withheld taxes, so you're not going to pay taxes on that. You're only going to pay taxes on the interest that you earn. All right, and you're not going to make any withdrawals. All right, so we're going to go equal sum A2 plus 1. And we're going to find out that we jumped up a day here. I'm just going to copy this entire formula over. I haven't gained any measurable age yet. All right, and this is going to be equal sum C2 plus, and then we're going to do this because of the mathematical operation that we're going to perform here. We're going to take D2. Actually, you know what? We're not. We're just going to say C2 plus D2 plus E2 plus F2 plus G2. It's going to be a sum of that whole line right there. All right, $300. Let's say that this continues on and you get paid every 2 weeks. So we're going to take this out to the 15th of January. All right. Which is a Sunday, so you get paid on Monday. Let's just say the company is sharp and they paid you on this day. And you decide to make a $200 deposit on this day. Okay, so notice this is climbing. All right. But we're going to keep doing this. You're not making any withdrawals. And on the very first day of the month of February of 1978, now you know this is taking a long time. Yes, you make another $200 deposit. However, and I'm going to do one other trick up here. I'm going to highlight that line. I'm going to go to data, and I'm going to tell it that I want to maybe it's window. I'm going to go to window and I'm going to say freeze, And that keeps that top line up there so I don't have to constantly figure out which row was what. All right. You earn interest off of that average of that balance right there. So what you're going to do is you're going to go equal sum. Now this is going to be complicated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a notepad, so that I can work backwards mentally. All right. So the actual formula is going to be C32 times, let's say that you had something earning 2%, 0.02. All right. That's going to be what you earned. But actually, C32 has got to be an average. So what you're going to do is you're going to take C2 plus, or all the way down to C32. You can come up with that balance, and that's going to be what your X is up here. All right, so it's going to be C2 colon C32. All right, so there's, you got your average balance right there. Oh, and you got to divide that by 31. That gives you the average balance, average daily balance right there. And then you're going to multiply that by 0.02. So that's going to be the formula that I'm going to use in there. Had to work backwards. So what I'm going to do is equal sum. I'm going to back that up one bit, and boom, boom. It did not like that. This is the problem with using OpenOffice, is sometimes it gets lost as to what you're doing, and you've actually got to go in and tell it what you're doing. C2 plus C3 plus C4 plus C5 plus C6 plus C7 plus C8 plus C9 plus C10. Or what you can do is this. You can do an average daily balance. Average daily balance, all right? So this is where you'll take, why did that not, oh. And you're also going to right click on this, and you're going to say format cells. We're going to make this dollars, currency, all right? So at this point right here, we're going to say equal sum C2 colon C32 divided by 31 days. All right, so that's your average daily balance, $406.45. So now you can just take that H32 in here. You're going to multiply that H32 by 2%. However, let me caution you, this is not what you're going to make off of that $406. That's what you'll make if that is your running average for the year. That's why they call this APR. The A stands for annual. All right? So you have to divide that by 12. That's what you're going to make off of that thing, off of that balance. All right? So far so good. We got this, and the neat thing about this is I can copy a goodly portion of this. I just come up here, and I don't want to copy that first line because that's not a formula. These are formula right here. Now, so I copy like that, and I can paste it like that. All right? And I've got a longer pasting right there. And then I just come in here and do the same thing. I should have copied this. Notice you got your 68 cents added in there. And this is what you get if you actually keep investing money as a kid. And it didn't take a whole lot. And I'm going off of a very low amount here, really. I'm going off of what is considered high today. But back in '78, they had CDs for like 8, 10, 6%. And that was CDs. That wasn't even other investments. CD today, a very high CD is like 0.25%. APR. I save more money than that just cutting back on the Diet Coke. Diet Coke. All right, so I can actually copy that. I'm just going to hit Control C. I'm going to hit Control arrow down. Then I'm going to hit Control Shift arrow up to highlight all that. I'm going to hit Control V to copy all that right into its spot. All right, so that was Control C to copy. Then I went arrow over. I went Control arrow down to get to the last filled in spot. Then I went right arrow over to the C, and then I went Control Shift up, which would take you to the first change block, which this is solid all the way up, so it'll take me all the way to the top. All right, but if there was a break, say right here, the Control Shift up takes you to there, and it copies everything. If you don't have the Shift, it just takes you there. If you hit the Shift, it does that, but the Control key is what gives you the control. All right, so I'm going to put that value back in there. All right, and then I hit Control V to Control Victory to copy it all in there. All right, Control V for victory. And on February the 16th, we made that, and so here we are on March the 31st. We're going to make another $200 deposit, and we're going to make some interest. Interest is going to be similar but not the same because the average daily balance is going to be different. So at this point, we take equals sum. Actually, I think you have to go all the way to the top on it. A2 to, actually, you know what? No, it's a period. It's a periodic daily balance. So it's going to actually be, and it shouldn't have been A, it should have been C. C32, I think it was, maybe? Or was it C33? C33. All the way down to wherever we're at now, C60. And that is going to be a period of 29 days. So your average daily balance here was $759.25. And so that is what you're going to earn for your interest. Oh yeah, right here. You don't get paid until that day. So notice you almost doubled. You did double, or really close to doubled, almost doubled your interest that you're earning. You're not getting rich, but you're getting somewhere and you're saving money. All right? I didn't start saving money until I was in my 40s. I didn't have this much put away. Okay, and let me preface, I should have prefaced this whole video with, I am not a financial counselor. I am not one to be taking financial lessons from, but I know math, and I know spreadsheets, and that is the purpose of me doing this for you, to show you how to do a spreadsheet that you can do on your own. And I think you can start to see from this alone how this can, and actually what I just did there, how this can help you. So I'm going to go Control arrow up, and I don't want that first one because that's not a formula right there. If you look like right up here, this is not a formula, that's an actual date, but the one below it is an actual formula. So I want this line. I'll take it all the way back out to, actually, no, I'm going to take it to there because those other values will change. All right, so on the 15th of the month, the Ides of March, well, we're going to go and add another $200 to our little pretend bank account here. And the reason I'm doing a pretend bank account thing here is because I want to see personally how far behind I am. All right, how far behind is little William here. All right, so not that William's my name, and not that it's not my name. I'll leave you to figure that out on your own. All right, so we've got on the 31st of March, or Saturday the April here, we'll get paid on Friday. We'll say 200. See, I'm not even paying attention to days like I should be, but you'll get paid your interest on this day too. So you'll need to have this balance down. So this balance is going to start off on 61. So I have to adjust this formula. And the reason this gets out of whack on the copy paste is because there's more days or fewer days in each cycle. Not every cycle is the same. You'll have the same cycles going from July to August because those are both 31, and from December to January because those are both 31. Every other month that you use is going to be really hit and miss on it. And this is going to be January, February, March, 31 days. All right. That was your average daily balance. Notice that's gone up significantly. And you're also going to get your interest on this day. So you got to watch this formula. It's going to change a little bit here. So we're going to take, instead of H90, it's going to be H91. All right. So you get a full $2 there, whereas you only had $1.27 there. Not quite doubling, but still, now you're making more money. And you can keep running with this. And if you really wanted to like keep a balance of how much you've earned off of this, you can go earnings, and you can go withdrawals, interest, E2 colon E20,000 or 2 million or whatever you get there. Oh yeah, you got to do this equals sum. Remember, every time you sum something up, you got to put it inside brackets and tell it what it's doing. All right. This is something else that I have failed to do in this entire process. Every time you had an earning, I forgot to come in here and say equals sum, and we're going to figure high on taxes. I like to be on the safe side, so we're going to go E33 times 0.3. I know, especially back in the 70s, it probably was not that high, but, oh, and I'm not doing equal sum here, I'm doing minus sum, because this is a negative. You're not earning that money, you're having that taken away from you by Uncle Sam. They take away your hard-earned money. All right, so that's going to reduce it a little bit. All right, so now we're paying our taxes like we should be doing. So we're not making any withdrawals, we're paying taxes, we're getting interest, we're making deposits, we're saving money, and we're getting somewhere. And this could be time consuming, yes, but here's the deal. If you're going to pay someone like Devin Carroll, or, and it doesn't have to be Devin Carroll, although I personally recommend the man. I think he's one of the wisest and sharpest and most thoughtful. I'm going to use the word auditor, even though that's probably an incorrect word. Accountant, maybe? I don't know. He's one of the most thoughtful and intelligent people I've seen in the business, and he seems to care about people. And I'm not saying that you have to use him. I'm not even saying you can use him. He may not want to see you unless he can see you in person. I don't know for sure, but I do need to see if he'll see me. And I'm not saying that you don't need to see people like this, but if you're going to go in and you're going to see someone like Devin Carroll, like you're going to go into a tax accountant or a financial planner, and sit down with them and talk to them about your life's plans, it would be better if you already had something in place that you had a clue as to what your financial picture looked like. Far too often, people walk into a financial planner and they sit down and they say, help. And the financial planners look at them like, okay, what's your financial picture look like? I don't know. I don't have a camera. And that's actually more accurate than you would think. Here's your camera, people, right here. Here's your photograph. This is what your financial planning could look like. And this would be easy to come in and say, well, what if I had just increased the amount that I was putting in there instead of decreasing? Well, you just come in here and just make that 500 instead of 300, and you can do this all the way down, and you can see that your earnings, okay, on this one here you were making 221. If you change this to 500, you're making 244. And again, down here, and also you could probably see this if I make this not quite so wide, and this not quite so wide, and this not quite so wide, and this not quite so wide, because we're not even using this one. You can see the 690 over here on the end, that's your earnings. Here, if we go in and we make this 500, you can see that just go up over there. Every time that you increase your input, you're increasing your earnings. Now, one thing to note on this, and I'm sure if Devin Carroll ever reviews this, he's already thought about this. He's probably chomping at the bit. This is not how it works in real life. And he would not be wrong. This is not how it works in real life. Okay, it works this way if you're taking out CDs and you're doing everything on a timely and daily balances. But if you're doing stock market, this amount right here, this 0.2%, that rises and falls. You might get lucky one day and hit a stock that is putting out 15% interest. Oh, what did I do there? Why did that not work? Oh, I know why. I don't have a numbers lock on. 15% interest, and look at how much money you'd be making off of that, off of a 0.15% interest. All right, that went way sky high. Oh, 0.15%. I was like, that looked too high. So instead of the $2 that you're earning, you're getting 18. But let's face it, most people are going to be looking at that right there, especially if you're using CDs, all right? So if you're using the stock market, this is good for estimates, okay? Estimates. It does not work like this in real life unless you're going for the low-risk CDs, and I would not recommend that for anybody that's trying to play catch-up. And I know that that's going to go against the grain of a lot of people. They're going to say, "Oh, if you're having to play catch up, you probably do need to go for the low risk because you can't afford to lose anything. You can't afford to. I can't afford not to." Okay, that's my personal take on my own personal life. A financial advisor, a real financial advisor like Devin Carroll, could better advise you on that. Me, myself, and I will listen to what men like Devin Carroll have to say, and then I'm going to make my own decisions. And they may shake their head and go, "What an idiot, what a fool." And they wouldn't be wrong. But when I make that decision for my own life, I at least have a plan in place, written down, an estimate. And sometimes I meet that estimate. Sometimes I don't quite make it, and sometimes I blow the living daylights out of it. All right? I estimate that, hey, I'm going to make 5%. That's actually what I figure mine on, 5%. Why? Because I'm currently making like 9%. But like I said, I like to play it safe, and when the market does drop, well, I'm already looking at a lower value, so I'm planning for the worst and hoping for the best. All right, so right now, off of a running balance of 1462, I would be making 1097 a month off of my current investments if I had only that amount in there. I've got more than that. So I'm going to hit Control Zulu to show the previous one. This was at 5%. That's what I figure that I'm making instead of 6. I figure that. And then I'm going to go Control Zulu. This is what I'm saying I would have been making in March of 1978, trying to figure out where I should be in life today if that is all that I made. And it will take me a long time to finish creating this product, especially if I'm sitting here talking about it as I go. So what I'm going to do is I will close this video off for now, and then I will show you the finished product later. But this is how I constructed it. This is the main thing I wanted to show you, was how to construct. And once you construct this, you can copy and paste and use that in other spreadsheets. And there are some pretty cool formula in here that, you know, this is another thing I can do. This is block D61. So I can come down here and just say equal sum D61. All right. So now if I change this block 200 up here, it automatically changes to 200 down here. If I change it 800 up here, it will automatically change it to 800 down here. Now, if I change it 200 down here, it will not change up there because I just destroyed the formula. That is no longer a formula there. So it all works off of formula. And again, if you don't know the formula and you want to know the formula, and I'm going to admit there are many a time that I come in and I go, Google, how the living daylights do I figure this out in Excel? I always use Excel in the past, although Excel formulas don't always work with OpenOffice. I've learned that OpenOffice does have a nice help system. So if you say, how do I do this in OpenOffice Calc? You can find it. If you're using Libre, how do I find this in Libre? And there's other free sources out there. So for those of you who are older, who thought that you'd never need to use math again in your life, I highly suggest that you get a computer, or if you don't want to use a computer, download Office on OpenOffice or some other program onto your cell phone and create a spreadsheet like this and play around with it. When you're sitting there getting bored with Days of Our Lives because it's the 50th time that you've seen this particular episode in the last 5 years, open up Spreadsheet and play with it. And then if you really want to go into a financial advisor, which some of you I highly recommend. I've seen some of the questions that you're asking Devin Carroll. You probably ought to be seeking the advice of a professional counselor, and they're going to cost money. And you don't want to waste your time in there. Have something like this set up with your own personal dates. Well, I started saving way back here, and this is how much I've got now. And have your life's financial picture complete from top to bottom before you go in there, so you can sit there and talk intelligently instead of going, well, I don't really know how I'm doing. And I'm going to make another couple of videos with this, but I'm going to close this one off. And I hope that this helps somebody. And I hope that I really hope that you come back and look at the finished product and listen to what I have to say about retirement in America versus retirement in, say, the Philippines, or retirement in Ecuador or Panama or any place else. There are some formula there that I can really help you guys out because I've done a lot of research on this. And again, these are all estimates. Life changes, life deals blows, life gives bonuses. So we're going to cover all that later on. But for now, I'm going to close this off. I'm actually going to make a posting on one of Devin Carroll's videos and let him know that I posted this. So I'm going to ask him to take a look at this and see if he sees anything that I'm missing in here or any way of improving this. Because like I said, I'm not a financial expert, and this is what I do for my own life. And since I started doing this and I started getting a picture of my own life finances, I've improved greatly. But I know that I could stand to improve even more. And one thing that helps, like I said, I'm in a tax-free zone. I'm not overseas. I mean, I am overseas. I'm not back in the States. Life is less expensive here. And I don't go to the doctors and dentists anymore because I don't want to die out here. That sounds backwards, but trust me, it's not. Uh, so I'm saving money hand over foot like that. Uh, Probably running my health in the ground, but hey, you know what? Uh, I'm hoping this helps you, and I'm closing this off. I know I've said that about 10 times. I've reached for the button probably 8 times. Everyone, have a great day.